Hello, all, and welcome to another episode of You Me Connect, the podcast where the Europe territory and the Middle Eastern territory connect, and also you and me connect. Today, we have with us a very, very dear friend of mine from the United States, an expert in blockchain, in cryptocurrencies, and especially in AI. And he's been testing some of those things, not in just the last years, but from a moment in time where we did not even know those things existed. But to better introduce himself, I will let him do it, because that's the best way to go. So, Blake Wilkinson, welcome, and I'm so happy to have you here with us. And it's not very common to have people of your experience be in Romania and talk to us about things that we honestly know very little of. We're just searching the internet, trying to understand them. But explain to us a little bit, who's Blake Wilkinson and what does he do?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for bringing me here to Romania. It's an incredible place. It's the second time that I've been here. I love it. The people are so welcoming. They're so friendly. So thank you very much. And thank you, Romania. I have been in technology my entire life. I was very, very lucky to be born into the tech world.
Wow. What you like your entire life? You're what? Now
I'm 30 actually.
Oh, you look much younger than that. But good. 30. Ladies, just be aware. Are you married?
Not married. No.
Single.
Single.
Ladies, he's here. Grab him. So sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I got on the computer the first time at about 4 years old.
Oh my God.
Very, very fortunate. And then throughout my entire life, I was very lucky to be able to test some of the early and things that are now coming out technologies. My family was very deeply involved in IBM and Dell, and it gave me the ability to not only test the machineries and the equipment and the softwares, but also to meet some amazing people throughout my life. I had some incredible teachers, and it was my passion forever.
I mean, you were born loving IT. Family grew you up into that. Did you have someone that really you followed up on? Was there someone that you really appreciated?
Absolutely. I can take you back to one of my mentors, one of my teachers. His name is Alan J.Krowe. He's the former CFO of IBM and Texico. And I'm very grateful for every lesson that he gave to me and every lesson that he taught me.
You were taught by the greatest, huh?
I was taught by some amazing people in many different roles. So I'm very, very grateful for all the people that have been around me.
Why did you choose this field? Okay, you were born into it, but you could change at any given time.
I don't think you can.
Oh, really?
It's kind of natural. Yeah.
So when it comes, it comes. And so
it comes, you're in it, you're involved in it. And if you love it, you love it. If you don't love it, then you go find something else. But always loved it. I've loved technology and I've loved the analytical portions behind it. And it's just one of my biggest, strongest passions.
So you were there for all the changes. You were there since the beginning of it all. I mean, 24 years ago, 26 actually, because you started, you were introduced when you were 4, right? So that was 26 years ago. It was the dot-com bubble, right? Yeah, and then you moved from there to currently blockchain, and then from blockchain now to this AI. What's going on? I mean, walk us through it, because it seems crazy. It seems like we're becoming obsolete.
Oh, somewhat. Not but somewhat. Actually, I was more involved in AI even before blockchain. So Machine learning and machine processing basically simulates a human, and you use automated softwares and it creates automated systems. So it can make your job a lot easier. One of the top programming languages to be able to use from the basic perspective is Python. And so Python creates that automation. Where we're at now is the machines are getting smarter and smarter. But in about 2016, I got involved in the blockchain industry, bought Ethereum at $14.
Oh my God, so you must be filthy rich.
Man, I'm getting there.
Oh, good. Don't forget, I'm already smart enough. Just don't forget about me. I'm here.
Absolutely. But I was fascinated with it. I saw the use cases for it. I saw what could happen with it. Basically, what blockchain technology does is it decentralizes data. It decentralizes the collection of data and puts it onto different chains and blocks as its whole blockchain. What we can do with it is it allows us to have more of a transparent and more of a validated system in the world. So it's going to be moving into government, supply chain. It can be used for just about everything, even from our phones.
And is that happening?
It's happening right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, predominantly in the financial sector. As everybody knows, cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Everybody focuses more on the money side of it, but it's not.
They lost a lot of money with it.
Some people have lost a lot of money, but other people have gained tremendous amounts of money. If we look back in history, when Bitcoin actually came out, it was fractions of cents. And right now, I think it's about 26,000 a day, around there.
Oh, my God.
People have done very, very well. Now, however, in the past couple of years is when it started to really pick up on the trend, which was not the new trend. It's because we've gone through different cycles in the markets. So when I jumped into it, it was around the same type of concept that happened back in the past 2 years. So we saw everything start picking up. We saw adoption, and we saw people being very, very interested in it, creating new technologies around it as well. So we had a crash, of course, in about 2017, and then we saw a gradual uptrend until we got to around COVID, when things really, really took off and things really started getting adopted and people were really starting to pay attention to it. Now, more recently, we've started to pay more attention to everything that's going on with AI. And I'm sure everybody knows the big company, ChatGPT.
Of course, yeah. I mean, some of the things that ChatGPT is doing, I have friends of mine are using it for literally everything. And I was like, oh, you wrote this? No, it was ChatGPT. Some of them tell you, some of them just take the credit themselves. Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere.
It is so helpful. It's so useful, and it can be implemented in so many different works of life, making your life just so much easier.
And where do blockchain and AI stand? Are they complementary? Are they working together?
Yeah, they're extremely complementary. I mean, beyond complementary. So from a validation perspective, what we're running into with AI is we're running into issues whether it is real or it's doing what it says it's doing. So how we can integrate blockchain technology into it is we can create validation mechanisms for the AI to be able to make sure it's doing what it says it's doing. And predominantly so far, the focus with AI and with blockchain technologies is supply chain management and the financial industry. We're going to be going more into the educational industry as things get more evolved, and even the smart car industry.
Okay. So basically what's going on, we're going to decentralize databases. We're going to have blockchain, I understood from you, that's what it's doing. Decentralizing everything, making sure that things are in this ledger system, right? Yeah. And that we all share the data, so no one can basically twinkle with it and change it and all those things. So I think that's a good thing. But that means that some people might lose their power.
They might not just lose their power, they might lose some jobs. Yeah.
Oh.
Very, very much so. So one of our predominant industries in the world is the logistic industry, taking up about 35% of everything. Where we are moving to a more automated system integration. So a lot of jobs will be changing. However, that's where the AI is still going to help not only hurt the industry, it will also help the industry because it's going to give the ability to open new doors and new opportunities for new jobs that are going to be created in the next 10 years.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is that we should not worry that much. We're not going to be obsolete yet.
Not
yet.
We're not going to take over everything in the world. We're not going to see it.
Well, that's what I said. We've all seen Terminator.
Oh, man.
I still remember, I was young. I was like, okay. And when I see what's going on there, looking back at Terminator, kind of looks Skynet-ish.
And the funniest thing, and there's literally a company called Skynet.
Oh my God, no, that's not helping. No, but it's really not helping. But still trying to wrap my mind around it because you're younger than me. I'm 44. I was born in 1979, so I was born in an era where we didn't have phones. Literally, there were no phones. Yeah, then we had the one where you said operator. And then we got the one with this, then the one with the buttons, then we got the first all of these things happening in a very short span if you look at history. And of course, we're lucky because as human beings, we adapt pretty fast. But still, isn't it too fast?
It is pretty fast. It's definitely fast, and it's getting faster and faster. I mean, as time goes on, we evolve quicker and quicker, and we adapt to new technologies even quicker. So it can be a little too fast, but it's the natural progression that we are going in life.
So a foreseeable future close to us is going to be, from what I understand from you, blockchain, AI working together. And where are we in all that?
We're going to make sure we're maintaining those systems. So we're not just going to be able to maintain those systems. These systems, as they're created, are going to give us the ability to be more creative as a society. It's going to free up our time and help us to evolve even quicker as a human species.
Oh, yeah, but if we have Elon Musk, we have all the big names saying that AI is a problem and AI is going to do this and that and that and that. And, I'm also an environmentalist. So when I look at the AI and when I look at the world, the biggest plague when it comes to the environment is our consumption. And since we are the one doing the consumption and we are the one consuming things, we are basically the one that are currently responsible for climate change, for all of these things. So it's not a very hard to understand thing from an AI which lacks emotions, because AI lacks emotions, it has no empathy. Currently, correct. I'm talking about today, right? So when AI is looking at all of this, it just does a simple equation. Who is destroying the world? The humans. I think that's one of the things that all these big names, Elon Musk and Bezos and all these names are currently trying to underline, saying that, there's a problem and the problem of the world are humans. So how will AI cope with that? How are we going to make sure that it's not going to just launch some nukes and that's it?
Well, we'll have to implement and keep rules inside of the AI, teach to the AI specific rules that are non-breakable, as well as come up with something like a kill switch.
Okay.
No matter what, we have to have a safeguard to be able to make sure the systems not go into that.
So we're going back to the 3 laws of robotics of Asimov, right?
Absolutely.
Does AI currently have that?
It does not currently have that because we're not evolved enough in AI from the general perspective to where that is even a notion, anything that we need to even worry about. AI is not as smart as a human being right now. It can only analyze data and then projects data.
So it cannot evolve by its own?
It can, in some cases it can.
Oh, okay. You're not making me be more at peace,
No, the one language model that was created over in India actually was taught to be teaching and learning languages. It was only taught a specific amount of languages and then eventually taught itself additional languages as well, which they didn't know how it happened. So it can evolve and it is evolving on its own, which means that we need to start implementing smarter strategies to be able to have those features like the 3 laws implemented into the systems quicker.
Okay, so let's go back to my initial question. Where do you see us in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see us automating almost everything that we can. I see our logistic industry dissipating and us actually moving away from a human-based integration and all into a machine integration. So I see about 30% of the jobs disappearing and us creating
new types of jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, and now moving back a little bit to the blockchain world. You've been in cryptocurrency. You just mentioned you bought Ethereum $14, so that makes you filthy rich. But you don't have to disclose that. It's fine. But the question that I currently have is, what's going on in the crypto world? I mean, we're currently seeing a bear market. Things are not looking good. Okay, Bitcoin is Bitcoin, but all the other currencies are not looking good.
All the other currencies are seeing some harsh bear reactions. But during any bear market, it's the best time for an organization or anybody to build and to rebuild and to get things prepared. So right now, we're in a preparatory stage. As we saw very recently with the EU launching and releasing marketing crypto assets, the new regulatory body, it gave us time to be able to, and this is giving us more time to be able to make sure that we have the right regulations in place for when the market picks back up. It will pick back up.
Okay.
It always does.
Okay, and moving from that, are we going to see regular currency disappear? is it all going to be replaced by digital currency? I'm talking government level.
Yes. In my personal opinion, it will absolutely be replaced. Digital currency is the future. We just need to be able to figure out how we're backing the assets properly. Our financial system right now is on a very, very large decline globally, specifically in the United States, because we've been basing our system off the fractional reserve system.
One that working?
It's not worked. It has never worked. And I don't think it will ever work.
The US dollar is basically legal tender, right? So it's just an IOU paper with a number on it.
Promissory notes, yep.
You know.
So we should be migrating into a new system that's backed by different assets. One of the assets that's being talked about is gold. Another one is a purpose-based system. Another one is a technological-based system. But the sum of all of it, the main backing that we actually see, you look at it from time perspective and you look at it from an energy consumption perspective. So we will be going someday into a model that is based off of time and energy consumption, which will give the value to a dollar.
Okay, because everyone's saying, oh, cryptocurrencies, they're consuming a lot of energy to be managed, blah, 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 and it's not good. It's destroying the environment. Well, I have to say one thing. Have you ever been to a place where they print money?
I have not.
Oh, I can tell you. They're just these huge, large printers that run on something that comes from wood. Wood, at its own, needs to be cultivated. So when you look at the whole system from the wood to your pocket, in my opinion, it's more energy deficient than mining for coins. So I don't think they're right there. But, that's a different topic. One thing which I wanted to ask you, there's a new concept that came a few days ago, which is called refi.
Regenerative finance. Yeah.
What's that? Tell us about it.
Oh my gosh. It's creating systems on the blockchain that are with the focus of regenerating the world. So one of the bigger use cases that can happen with it is actually waste management and being able to create new blockchain mechanisms that have recycling portions that are directly into it, recirculating, reinventing, and changing the world incredibly. So an awesome concept. It's very, very useful. It can be used in the supply chain for food management. It can be used for just about anything that helps us to regenerate the world that's around us.
Wow. So in the end of it all, we're not going to be destroyed. 30% of us, we're going to be out of a job. We're going to learn new jobs, have more time for ourselves, more time for our families, be more creative, enjoy the life we live in, refi things, so regenerate the world we live in, focus more on preserving the world, more than consumption. So we're on a good track here.
I think we're on a great track. I really do. I see such a great future.
Yeah, because, I see a lot of worrying people around us, and people are not really open for this change.
Yeah. Sometimes people are resistant on change. Technology is the one scary thing for most people, and it typically just comes because it's so new. When there's a new idea that's implemented or a new idea that's spread, people want to resist change. However, that resistance mechanism has actually decreased over time. The younger generation before myself, they're picking up and they're adapting to things so much quicker than everybody else. We look at that over time too. So we look at your generation and your generation not having the technology that my generation had. I had a phone. You mentioned you got a phone. When was the first time that you had a cell phone?
Oh, it was beginning of 2000, man. No, actually, it was 1998. It was the first time, 97, 98. It was the first time that I had my own personal phone. And the first time I touched one was in 1996.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So that would make you about 20-ish, a little bit.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. So, I had my first phone at 7 years old.
That's different. And my daughter, she's 7 years old. She was born with one.
That's where I'm going with it. The younger generations over time are adapting to these new technologies quicker and quicker. They're being born with these technologies, so they're knowing how to use it, and they're knowing how to see how it evolves over time. So they pick up things.
Yeah, well, my daughter, she was like 2 years. She couldn't read. But she would take the phone, go on YouTube, find the video she liked, but she couldn't read anything. So, when you look at that, clearly there's a new learning system that needs to be in place and to replace the old. Like you've been saying, that's the way we're going. Otherwise, we're for real going to be obsolete if we do not adapt.
Absolutely. And we need to be able to create systems that are going to help us to learn quicker. That's really what I want to see and hope to see with AI and with blockchain as well, to be able to create new educational systems that help progress information and help them to adapt to the information quicker. Because we're moving soon.
Wow. Tell me one more thing. Our listeners, and our show is called Yumi Connect, and our listeners are people that are either in the Middle East or in Europe. They want to just move around, and all this is AI and blockchain going to help us move quicker, faster, and safer?
Absolutely. No question. It's going to be able to unite the world a lot more. With these new systems, it's going to be able to bring so many people together. I mean, the one thing that we have seen over time, we're in an interesting state in the world with some of the war stuff and all the confusion, the conflict. We will start to move towards a safer and a smarter world where we all unite. And these technologies will give us the tools that will give us the ability to do so. So it's a very positive future for the rest of the world.
Well, hopefully I'm going to get to see that.
So definitely see it.
Well, Blake, first off, I want to thank you. We're about to be at the end of the show. I want you to give a message from the IT world to our listeners at the end of the show. What do you have to tell them?
Keep learning. Keep learning as much as you possibly can. Keep educating yourself on the new things that are coming so you can help to be able to transform this world that we're going into.
Thank you very much, Blake, for all of that. Thank you for connecting and for being on Yumi Connect.
Thanks for having me. You're the best. Thank you so much.